Hello fellow RVers, this is Gary with Rough Road RV Life. We like looking at freedom. So where has freedom brought us? Not very far from our home base, right here next to this busy Northeast 58th Street in Ocala, Florida, which is also County Road 35. But we are here at Silver Springs State Park, Silver River Museum. They have a lot of school classes here. And hooked to this park, but more that way, is also Silver Springs attraction. We're going to ride around and review this park and let you see what it's about. So let's go review. Okay, so we're coming into the state park. You do need a gate code at night. And right up in front of us is the ranger station where you check in and get all your paperwork, park maps, and all that good stuff. So, this campground does have two loops, the Fort King loop and the Sharps Ferry loop. And this will be your staging area, where you can unhook your toad if you chose to.
Off to the left there is one of the trailheads. This is a Saturday, so it looks like they have some sort of event going on out there. I think that's a Sandhill Trail. And parking area.
And there are deer in these woods. The Ocala National Forest actually has a black bear in it. Can't say that I've ever seen a black bear in this actual area, but it is possible. Have you ever seen them?
No, but they are in this area because
right.
There's houses around here and people have reported. Every now and then,
yep,
they'll see one.
So like most roads and parks, you have to drive back to the campground.
And there are trails all off to our left and our right. There's a very nice trail system here. You can even walk to Silver Springs State Park, the attraction area, from here. It's about 2.5 miles.
Yes, and at the attraction of State Park attraction area, there is a place that you can launch kayaks or rent kayaks to paddle the Silver River, which is a crystal clear river.
Right. If you like to play outside, hiking, biking, and kayaking are all right in this area. The hiking trails are bike trails. There's kayaking. No fishing, though, from this park, and no swimming from this park or in Silver Springs.
There's no fishing on the Silver River.
No.
The Silver Springs, the attraction, was at one time a very popular destination for vacationers. Went through several different owners, and now it's owned by the state of Florida as part of the state park. They have glass bottom boat rides there, and you can walk around the actual park, the attraction part of it.
And you can look at the crystal clear spring head, Silver Springs.
And there have been several movies made there. Tarzan movies were made there. I think a James Bond movie was made there, and part of the props are still there under the water. Like we said a minute ago, on the Silver River, which is what it's called, there's no fishing on the Silver River, but the Silver River actually connects into the Ocala River, which you can fish on the Ocala River.
And kayak. Nice kayaking there. It's not crystal clear, though.
No, the river, the Ocala River is not crystal clear.
It's a tannin stained river.
And I would call that a moderate paddle with the current coming out of the springs. It's pretty quick going downhill, but coming back you have to paddle or you lose ground.
It's a fun trip, and it is a beautiful moonlight trip if you're into moonlight kayaking.
Yes.
And just another note, the Florida Trail is nearby. if you would like to hike the Florida Trail just within a few miles.
There's a trail right there. That was a sinkhole. The end of the sinkhole loop trail, actually.
We went on the sinkhole trail this morning and it comes out right there.
2.5 miles.
Yep. If you look through the trees to our right, you can see campers. That's part of the campground.
Now to our left here is a picnic and day use area.
That is full of kids at the moment, but it has a playground, pavilions, and it's right next to the Cracker Village, which is also used to educate children here in this area. And they have things like Cali Days. They show what life was like back in the day. So over there you see those buildings, that is that area. You can walk around and look at they're actual homesteads that they have moved here. It's part of the museum. Sinkhole Trail is right there. That goes by this little Cracker Village. And the Silver River Museum is right through those trees. And local school children come out. They have a program there for them. Here are the river trails that you can actually walk right down to the river and see it up close and personal. Very pretty.
There's also monkeys.
Oh yes, there are monkeys along the Silver River, and
Yes.
sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't.
They're called rhesus monkeys.
Actually, interesting fact, one day I was out there on these trails riding my bicycle all by myself, and I heard all this commotion going on over my head. And I look up above me and there are a bunch of monkeys. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, because they can be aggressive. So I went ahead and got out of there. But yeah, watch out for monkeys out here and don't tease them or feed them or interact with them. Just carry on.
Because they'll throw things at you.
Or attack you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're heading to the campground areas right now.
There's a dump station.
Right there to our left.
You can either go as you're coming in or as you're coming out.
Double lane.
Yep.
And this is the first loop. This is a Sharps Ferry loop, sites 1 through 30. If you go to the right loop, there are campsites, and there's also campsites to the left loop. 1 through 15 is to our right here.
Now in this campground, 13 of the total sites have sewer. I think there's 59
One way.
sites altogether. But they're nice sized sites, gravel sites, they're level sites.
This is site 3 right there, so you get a good idea.
And the sites here are not howdy neighbor sites.
No, they're large, they're huge. Look at site 8 right here. How deep that is. Nice. It's actually a pull through, is it? I believe it is.
These are pull-throughs here.
Site 9. There's another site right there that's empty. Site 11, 12. Bathhouse right here. Dumpster. Site 14.
Pull-through.
Site 15. Also empty.
It'd be a good campground to practice your backing skills if you're a little rusty on backing, because these sites are so big you can't help but hit the site. Okay, here's the other half of this one. Starting at site 16. 16 through 30, I believe.
Site 16 there has sewer. It's a sewer site. We'll put the ones with sewers down at the bottom. The sewer sites. So we were just over in that loop. Now we're over here. Site 21. 22. Really, I don't know if you could go wrong with any of these sites. You definitely have your own space.
Yes.
And even if there's no brush between you and your neighbor, you have space between you and your neighbor.
Now for any of this body, there's our site right there. There we are.
We are site number 27. And here's site 28 right beside us. And site 29.
A very popular kayaking destination, the Silver River, and a lot of people will put in at the attraction, the park, and paddle the Silver River and then take out at what's called the boat basin, which is about hour and a half downstream.
I haven't done it in a while, so I don't remember. It's more like a couple hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, coming back it's a little bit longer, but they do have a service that will pick you up down there.
I'm not sure it's running right now with COVID though, because I remember reading something on that. They're not picking up, but in non-COVID times you can have that pickup.
I don't know if they are or not. I saw a big kayak carrier the other day when I was there fishing.
Or maybe they are. I don't know if it's...
Yeah. But one thing about the Silver River is it's a good kayaking place, but there's not a lot of places to get out and, swim, or if you got to go to the bathroom or something like that.
Actually, there is a point that you cannot get out.
Right.
There's a sign, stay in your boat.
Yeah.
And you can go up into the springs and paddle around the spring heads, but look out for the glass bottom boats, because they're coming around too, and you need to stay out of their way.
Yes. So here we are at the Fort King Loops, sites 31 through 59.
This area has the most sewer sites. There's 4 in this little loop.
Yeah. Now outside of the state park itself, there's quite a bit to do here, especially if you like biking, mountain biking. There's lots of trails really close to this park. You got the Bellevue Santos trailhead, and you got the Greenway.
32 here's a sewer site. Sorry, just want to show what one of the sewer sites might look like right there.
And about 2 miles up the road from this park is a big Walmart. Because you're right outside of the city of Ocala, so you're really close by to whatever in the world you might want. Because Ocala's big enough, it has everything.
Restaurants.
Yep.
But then lots of recreation with the Ocala National Forest.
Yep.
And the parks here. It's just a plethora of play opportunities in this area.
Yes, it's not a bad little home base if you like doing outdoor stuff. There's site 43, big pull through.
It's another sewer site right there. Must be, that was a 40 something, 45. 43 and 45 are sewer sites on this side, on this little loop.
Right.
We've got sites 47 through 59.
We have sites 47 through 59 this way. There's a big pull through.
Right here.
Site 48.
48 is a sewer site too, I believe it is.
Yep, there's a sewer right there.
And this is one campground that it always shows full. Even when we had our travel trailer 20 years ago, getting into this campground was nearly impossible. Seeing all these spaces though makes me think we should just kind of show up here, huh? Bet they have a lot of look, 57. I mean, I just happened to check and found the availability for 2 nights here and jumped on it. This is a 58 is another sewer site. So we have 2 open sewer sites.
We don't have a sewer site.
This is me screaming, trying
we
not to.
would have liked to have had a sewer site.
Well, you know what? Maybe somebody's coming in tonight.
It could be.
Yeah.
Today is Saturday morning.
Yeah. Someone could have left last night. That is true. This is a great park, though. That's why it is always booked, because people want to come here, and I've never heard anyone come here and say, I did not like Silver Springs State Park. Okay, leaving the camping areas. Okay, they also have cabins here that you can rent.
And we are on the cabin road.
And they're just tucked back up here in the woods.
It's a pretty nice cabin, though.
Yes. Florida parks do have nice cabins.
There's 10 of these cabins. They do have a little bit different on their check-in, check-out times and campsites, but it's not, I think it was an hour.
Yeah, you check in, I think check-in is at 4, check-out is at 11 a.m. Where the campground is 3 check-in and 1 o'clock check-out.
Yeah. At least it's 1 o'clock and not 11 o'clock.
Right, like our last campground. We don't like 11.
No.
Here's one right here that you can see really well. Big, large screen porch, rocking chairs, tucked up here in the woods, just like the folks who settle the area, but probably with a lot nicer amenities in there. I don't think you have to use the outhouse. Cabin number 5.
There's 5, yeah.
For your reference.
There's cabin 6.
Cabin 7's on the other side, but looks like all the others.
There's cabin 9. Last but not least.
Let's see, right over here. There's the last one, cabin 10. Nice cabin area.
So you've seen the 2 campgrounds, you've seen the cabin, you've seen the museum area, you've seen the Cracker Village, and there's numerous trails, both biking, hiking. What do you think, hon? Maybe we should just go over to the Silver Springs Park and show that?
Let's give you a peek of Silver Springs State Park. Now a state park, but was attraction for years and home to the world famous glass bottom boats.
Yeah.
This is a park that I went to many times as a child, and my parents went to even way back in the day. It has been around for a while. They used to have concerts there. They have a big, I don't know if they do that anymore, but they would have concerts in this this stage that they built. I actually went there to see Shania Twain once, years and years ago, before she was, the Shania Twain. It was kind of cool. But they've had many big stars there, many, over the years. And it's right along the shores of the Silver River. So you can walk the paths and look at the sparkling, crystal clear water.
Is the petting zoo still there?
No. The animals, yeah. Once upon a time, there was a petting zoo. Then there was a Jeep safari ride where you would ride through the woods, and there would be all kinds of animals
Jungle
out
cruise.
there. Yeah, they had a jungle cruise. They had a jungle cruise that went by animals. Anyway, it's been quite. They had Ross Allen would handle snakes and reptiles, and put an alligator to sleep by rubbing its belly. Yeah, they used to have shows like that, bird shows, but that's all like years ago.
Yeah, they made fudge. They had a little shop.
Yeah, they had a shop for fudge. They do have the restaurants open there now, so you can have a treat, but I think it's outdoor seating, so, COVID. And a lot of organizations would have events out there at Silver Springs. They had a hall you could rent and that kind of thing. So it was quite the little hub back in the day. And then Wild Waters popped up next to it, but that has now been torn down.
Yeah, that was a giant water park.
Yeah. Okay, that's where we're heading. It's not very far. We'll check the mileage and let you know when we get there. There is a trail system right across the street here.
Go down to the light.
Yeah, it's quite a nice system.
So there is hiking across the street.
Right.
So we just left the park.
So everything you see off to the right is Silver Springs.
And off to the left is a conservation area. So
Right. Where there's walking trails. That is not part of the park, and you can park there and hike for free.
it's part of the city, the county.
Now, and if you want to just come out, of course, and use and day hike or bike or whatever, you can. You just pay the entrance fee to the park. This is Northeast 58th Street.
County Road 35.
Right.
And this will go to State Road 40, which goes across the state, goes from Daytona to the Gulf.
Right. And there's a lot of history here. They used to bring goods up. They had steamships that came up this river. In fact, my grandfather used to work on one of those steamships.
So now you're kind of getting a little bit of the town. There's a Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah, it's a hotel right there.
Over here on this corner is where the Wild Waters used to be.
Ormond Beach to our right. You feel like driving about an hour?
Great beaches.
Yep. That's a cool thing about this area in Ocala. We are about an hour from the Gulf and about an hour, give or take, from the Atlantic Ocean.
And we are about an hour and a half from Orlando, and about an hour and a half from Jacksonville, and an hour and a half from Tampa. So,
And there are countless waterways within an hour's drive of here. As close as 15 minutes away to so many creeks and rivers and lakes.
so here's the entrance.
Silver Springs. We have these handy dandy little guides. There's one at our campground too. It tells you are here. They also have an equestrian area up the road a bit. I have hiked it as well. You can go in and hike it. It is a fee-based area, but that goes along the river as well, and the woods and the swamps, and you might get your feet muddy.
And that's the old Wild Waters area.
Yeah. On the right is the old Wild Waters area.
Yep. So here we are at Silver Springs State Park. Not to be confused with the campground, although it's all part of one.
Right. Our car pass will get us in here. And I've never seen this many cars here lately. There's a little canal off to our right.
So Paddling Adventures is the outfitter.
You do have to pay to launch your kayak here, or you can rent kayaks. But once upon a time, you couldn't do anything here. You had to paddle up and paddle back.
Right.
So it's nice that they have the Kayak Launch now.
It's a picnic area. Quick pee before you leave.
The Silver Springs Connector Trail comes out right around here. 5-mile round trip, 2.5-mile one way. It's quite the busy area too. This is a staging area for the kayaks and canoes. But right down that ramp is where you go to drop your kayak in.
Yep.
And it is beautiful.
And if you don't have one, they rent them.
Yep. We actually rented life vests because we went kayaking and didn't have enough life vests. We had enough kayaks and everything else. So we rented the life vests from the outfitter.
Florida, you gotta have a life vest and a whistle.
Yes. 1 mile to get here from the campground. You can see the sign, and that's a sign that's been there for years. Giant cypress trees, cabbage palms, moss drape oak trees. Ah, Florida. And what's really cool, when you go in here, you walk right over a swamp. There's a bridge over a swampy area. We're just gonna drive right by it so you can take a look. There you go.
There's the attraction. So here I am in my favorite position, seated. And here's our site. 50 amp service with water. 13 of these sites have sewer. 59 sites altogether, 10 cabin sites. It's not a howdy neighbor site, as you can see. Very spacious. Close to Ocala, or Slocala as the locals call it. Centrally located, lots of things to do around the area. You've got the campground, and you've got the Silver River Park. It's just a very nice, very scenic park to come to. It's not far from I-75. It would say, I'm going to guess, 5 miles from I-75, 7 miles off of I-75, which goes north and south in Florida. If you stay here, you're a little over, right at an hour to Ormond Daytona Beach. If you want to go to the beaches, if you're staying here for a couple weeks, want to have a beach day, you're not far from doing a beach trip. So it's just a really nice park. You have a good Verizon service here. There's things to do, places to see. And speaking of seeing, we hope to see you guys one day on the road. Rough Road RV Life, because we like looking at freedom. Safe travels. Take care. Gary, Sharon behind the camera. Hey, sometimes I forget to do the click, like, and subscribe things. But we're more about the videos than the click, likes, and subscribes. But if you want to do that, that's fine too. Take care, people.